This is the 2018 Bentley Bentayga, and today I'm going to be doing a full-on review of this car. Now, on Monday, I did a 5 things I love about the Bentley Bentayga, but today I'm going to be going again and doing a full review of this vehicle, taking you through the exterior, interior, and the engine of this vehicle, and showing you all the cool little luxury features that the Bentley Bentayga has. So yeah, let's hop right into the video. Now, starting on the exterior of the Bentley Bentayga, as you can see, this one is in a matte gray color, and it has these gloss black 22-inch rims. Now, there are plenty of rim options on the Bentley Bentayga, and you can get them in black, but this one actually had the rims powder-coated black by its owner and had the gray wrap placed on it by its owner as well. And it also has these black accents on the outside that have also been powder coated and done, including the window trim, again, the side vent right there. And if you come to the back, more of the window trim has been done. And of course, they didn't touch the Flying B Bentley logo right here either. And part of the door handles has been done black with the wrap also on the door handles. And the wrap looks pretty clean. On some cars out there that people kind of cheap out on the wraps, but I think they said that this wrap, when it's all going to be said and done, is going to be around $30,000 when they finally get the protective film on it and everything. But they haven't done that yet. So far, they're into it about nearly 20 grand, and that is tons of money for a car up. But continuing on the exterior, up front, you can see the massive grille up front with the Bentley B Flying logo and the quad headlights. I honestly love this look on Bentleys. A lot of people out there don't love the headlight look on Bentleys, but I do love them, and the headlights look super intricate and expensive. As you can see, all the individual LEDs in there looks pretty nice. And then you have, of course, your side headlight right here. Now, that also turns into a turn signal when you do turn it on, with the orange LED going around the outside. Of course, you have more of the chrome up front. I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't make the grille up front black. The silver kind of fits the look. And of course, down here, you do have your fog lights. Now, moving on to the side, they have a lot of things on this car that have kind of the Bentley B look, including the trim around the side vent right here. But personally, I really do like the look of the Bentayga. I like how it looks a lot more sporty than something like a Cullinan does. Kind of fits that whole look. Bentleys in general are just a lot more sporty as a luxury exotic brand versus Rolls-Royce, which doesn't really fit that narrative as much. In the rear, as you can see, the taillights also have that Bentley B look to them, which looks really cool. And these exhaust pipes are absolutely massive. They run up to a W12 engine, which sounds really good. As you can see, there's more black trim around the license plate housing. And the roof in the back kind of slopes down into that tailgate right here. This is built off of the Audi Q7's platform, if you didn't know. I mean, it's pretty easy to guess, but yes, this is built off of the Audi Q7's platform, which is a pretty good platform, and a lot of vehicles are built on there. If the Q8 platform shares a platform with the Urus, if you didn't know that. Moving around to the other side of the car, pretty much the same. I love how the matte wrap brings out the body lines in the Bentayga, as you can see, with the wider rear haunches right here, and the body lines going from the rear doors up to the front. Looks really nice. Now we can move on to the engine. I think it's important to talk about that engine up front. Now that we're finally under the hood of the Bentley Bentayga, this is a 6-liter W12 twin turbo engine, makes 600 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque, which is wicked powerful. When this car first came out, before the Urus existed or the Cullinan existed or the upcoming Ferrari SUV was even a thought, this was the fastest SUV in the world. This version of it does 0 to 60 in around 3.9 seconds and has a top speed of 190 miles per hour, which is incredibly fast for an SUV. And it's mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Of course, this one is all-wheel drive, so it literally rockets off the line and sends over 5,000 pounds worth of weight to 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. Again, that is incredibly fast for an SUV. BMW M cars were going that fast before the whole G80 series came out of, like the M3. Before that, M cars were going that fast. So if you look at an SUV that weighs this much going that fast, that's insane. But yeah, the engine Looks pretty compact because it is that W12 design instead of the V12, which is going to be much longer than the W12. W12 is actually two VR6 engines put right next to each other. And yeah, they've been using this engine for a while. I've done a Bentley Continental Flying Spur on this channel, which also used the W12. And again, it did look this compact. So this might not look as big as something like a V12 does, but it does have that 12 cylinders. Now, before we hop into the interior, I think it is pretty important to mention that this does come, of course, with air suspension, and that's kind of a given that a vehicle like this would come with that kind of system. But depending on the drive mode you're in, if you are in a more comfort-oriented drive mode, the suspension will be a lot softer and it'll actually sit higher, and that way when you go over bumps, the suspension does a really good job of soaking up all of the turmoil on the road. But when you are in a more sportier mode, the suspension adjusts, stiffens up, and lowers to create a more aerodynamic, not that this is a very aerodynamic car at all, but more aerodynamic ride and a more stiffer ride. You will feel a little more uncomfortable while driving it, but you know what? It'll help you reach that top speed and 0 to 60 a little faster. All right, now moving on to the interior of the Bentayga. As you can see on the door panel right here, there's leather absolutely everywhere. That is hand-stitched leather as well. Of course, you do have the more chrome pieces and piano black trim on the vehicle as well. It just shows from when you first get in the vehicle how nice this is. The aluminum tread plates with that mirror right there. And then all of the functionality of the seat on the side. This also has massaging seats, which is an option on this vehicle, surprisingly. But yes, it does have massaging seats. And on the seats, you have the Bentley logo embroidered into the top right there with the super comfortable headrests. Two-tone leather on the interior, different colored seats than the dash, which is really cool looking. And the two-tone steering wheel, which looks a lot better than some of the other Bentley steering wheels I've seen out there. This interior and the steering wheel definitely remind me of something like the inside of a Q7, especially the steering wheel. And then you have the steering wheel stocks, which are also straight out of a Q7. Down here is where you have your adaptive cruise control settings. And this car even has night vision. So if you go ahead and start it, turn down the volume so we don't get a copyright strike here. If you come down here and press this little button with the street and the moon, it'll actually activate the night vision. As you can see in the center screen right here, you do have night vision cameras that make it easier to see at night. So if you are driving on a forest road, you don't want a deer running out in front of you. So the Bentayga will help you see that deer in the middle of the night. And it can actually apply braking when it does detect something in front of it. So that little night vision system is pretty helpful in some situations. The gauges look really nice. They kind of have a classic Bentley look to them. If you do get a newer Bentley Bentayga, those will be fully digital, but I don't mind the analog gauges in this car. Moving over into the center control stack, you have the Bentley infotainment system. This is much better than older ones, but it's not the best I've ever seen in a luxury vehicle. Rolls-Royces use iDrive, which is a far better system than what this is. But still, it's pretty easy to use. And it does have Apple CarPlay. Newer ones will have wireless Apple CarPlay, but this one does still have some nice modern creature comforts. Of course, you have the clock up here with the carbon fiber background to it, which does look really nice. The vents, these are pretty classic Bentley vents with the knurling on the little knob as well. You push them in to close them and pull them out to open them. Be careful if you do ever have one of these. You can actually unscrew these, and they're pretty hard to put back in. Down here, of course, you have all your climate controls, individual fan control, and dual zone, which is nice, and it's the same way in the rear. You do have heated and cooled seats. Then you have your shift knob. This is actually a really cool looking one. You have nice aluminum on the outside with the chrome, and then you have the leather wrapped parts of it as well. It says park distance control, and down here is where you select your drive modes. This is where you have sport, Bentley mode, comfort, and custom. Bentley mode is kind of where you get the best of both worlds. It's still pretty comfortable and it delivers plenty of power. Sport mode is going to be strictly sport. Comfort is going to be strictly comfort. It's going to kind of decrease your throttle response, lighten that steering up, and make this air suspension nice and soft. It's going to soak up a lot of bumps on the road and give you the best driving experience. And custom is basically like your individual mode. But yeah, your center console, not absolutely massive, but still a good size. The owner's to the left, some stuff on the inside. Storage, of course, is okay. And then leather is nice and soft. And again, you have it just about everywhere. Piano black, of course, you're going to get fingerprints on that if you have people touching it. But it still looks really good. And as you can see, even looking at the passenger seat, it's so good looking. And the seat even looks comfortable through the camera looking at it. All right, now moving on to the back of the Bentley Bentayga. As you can see, you have plenty of legroom back here. And you do have these back seat pockets, leather on the door, all over the door again. And then you also have your leather grab handle up here with the aluminum trim. Continuing down here, you have your vents and everything. And you also have a vent right here on the side to blow air in your face. Now, to control all those climate control features, you use this tablet down here, which pops out, or you can control it when it's sitting right there. But on here, you do have all your climate controls, your entertainment controls. You can change the music and the songs and the volume of those songs using this tablet back here. You also have a vehicle data tab. Now that lets the rear passenger see the vehicle speed and the gas mileage of it. And you also have the seat controls and the settings for the tablet back here, which can be really helpful. And to pop that back in, you just simply put it back in its place and it locks it in. Center console right here with cup holders, which is nice, of course. And then more stitching on the top of the seats right here with the Bentley logo embroidered into the top of the seat. So the back seats are still a really nice place to be. And you have plenty of room, so even full adults who are 6 feet tall can sit back here. Now onto the cargo space in the back of the Bentayga. It has 62.6 cubic feet of max cargo capacity back here. And these switches are really cool down here. You can actually change the ride height of the vehicle right here to make it easier for you to put heavier items in the back of the vehicle, which is really nice, but nothing super special about what's going on back here. And that is the Bentley Bentayga's full review. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more from us, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.